Yeah.
So when did you get started in the whole game?
Started with podcasting.
Yeah.
I was like honestly 9 going on 10
Yeah.
years
Oh,
old.
damn.
Yeah.
All right.
I was a young dude, and it's like it was just one of those circumstantial things where I was just getting on iTunes. I was just learning to navigate it myself around that age.
Okay.
And then I see, on the side, top songs, whatever, top podcasts.
Nice.
And I was always just like, I don't know what that word means, like podcast. Like, so it always just intrigued me. And one day I clicked the #1 episode on iTunes at the time, which was Adam Carolla on the Joe Rogan podcast, episode 101. I remember that shit. So we're taking it. He's at episode like 3,000 now.
Yeah.
So I listened to it, and there's the mixture of the two guys. Like Adam's irreverent humor, and Rogan's like, inquisitive, like questioning everything.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was really cool, and I was like, maybe I just want to talk into my computer and try it. Like it was just something that I came across, and it kind of worked. So I got started talking about the band Kiss because I was a huge Kiss fan, and I actually found a Kiss podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was like, Kiss podcast. Now that makes sense to me. So.
Oh, shit.
That was the beginning of it.
Damn, man. Good for you. How old are you now? You're a bit younger.
I'm 21 going on 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And you can tell I'm younger because I said going on 22.
Yeah. Shit. So you got started early. I feel like I didn't hear the word podcast till I was like an adult,
No, maybe like 5 years ago for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, I was asking what's a podcast. 5 years into it, my mom was asking what's a podcast, and then, six and a half years into what I'm doing, people finally sort of started to catch on. But now, I mean, with Rogan, I mean, they're considering having him do a presidential debate. It's like now it's a household word, so it's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, now you hear podcasts. It's eventually coming where there will be podcasts about podcasts, and I think there already kind of are, right? Like a whatever review. Yeah.
I mean, there's podcasts about TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they break it down. So why not? I mean, hey, I kind of talk about. I do some commentary on Alex Jones and Rogan's. I'm pretty close.
Yeah, exactly, right? And then someday there's going to be like movies about a podcast or like a TV series where it's like the central thing. I don't know. Fuck.
I completely agree. Look at
It's
the
not
movie
that far off.
Almost Famous. It's about a 20-year-old reporter with the Rolling Stone who ends up touring with a band. So, I mean, podcasts, definitely. That'll definitely happen, I think.
Oh, yeah. It's coming. It's coming.
It would only make sense.
Did you ever release your podcast you made when you were like 10 years old or no?
Yeah, I mean,
or you got them saved somewhere for someday?
Well, they were always released. I actually went through about a month ago, and I took all my content from when I was like from a kid down, because I want to own all of it, and I want it in a vault. And, just in case things may get big one day and somebody's curious and how the story happened, I don't want someone to go ahead and help themselves to that footage and create the story before I get to.
Okay.
So I want to preserve that. So, yeah, I took it all down. It's not there anymore, but it always was. And it started off rocky, started off terrible, and I'm still surprised that I actually ended up getting adult listeners on that. It was interesting. A 9-year-old kid talking about a band that came out in the 70s.
It's a new perspective, I guess, right?
I guess.
Yeah. Oh shit, that's cool, man. Yeah, because I was going back through your old stuff, and it kind of like it appeared to come to a point like when I found like the old episodes of the Cassius Morris show.
Yeah.
It looked as if you were quite far along in your podcast career, if you will, at that point. So I was kind of curious, I was trying to find what happened before, but you did a good job taking it down. So.
Well, it's just you never know what's going to happen, right? And and it's also, I don't want to confuse. I don't want a bunch of projects coming up. I just want to keep it focused more so on what I'm doing now, and then maybe an archive could be an asset in the future. You never know.
Definitely.
That's true.
So speaking of being a Kiss fan, you just had Ace Frehley on. I was listening to that. That was pretty cool.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that was
Had you talked to
crazy.
any of those guys before, or was that the...
Yeah, I talked to Ace before.
Okay.
The thing with that, though, is that a lot of people don't realize that or don't even remember it because it was on the phone. And this time, I really pushed for a video interview because I said, like, this is the new school, man. Like, the phone, we've been doing this since the 60s. People have heard Ace on the phone. So I said, and they actually tried to change it on me. They go, nah, we're going to do it on the phone. Ace doesn't want to do video. I said, listen, please just do this. If you want to sell some albums, get Ace on a video with me. And then they said, all right, I guess we'll do it. So we did it, and then it became a lot more memorable than the other one. And, I really put myself in a position before that where I didn't watch any Kiss videos before that. I didn't listen to any Kiss because when I interviewed Gene, it was like a video of a fan meet and greet. of a nervous
Okay.
kid.
Okay.
For Ace, I wanted to just be a rock journalist, man. I wanted to get to the root of the questions, and I didn't even want to be like, Ace, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time. It's like, you know what, man? He's heard it, and so have the listeners. So it's like, I was really happy with that, just because Ace gave me the time of day, and he was really interactive. It was cool as a fan to see, you know? He's a badass, man.
That's Absolutely. Awesome. That's a really good idea. Not really like prejudice isn't the right word to use, like pre-frame yourself to
that's the thing, like
no
preconceived
just have a
notions.
real conversation with the guy.
That's the thing. It's like, and it takes a long time, especially when you are a fan of the people, because you know it's one thing when you're meeting someone who you know has huge status, but you haven't been following them. It's a lot easier to separate that. But for these, you really have to just listen to the new material they have and say, I'm interviewing a dude about his new song. So just keep the focus on the song, because if I start thinking about, well, this is the guy who revolutionized stage effects with guitars and I'm gonna be unable to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
You just be starstruck the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, during Gene Simmons, there was a point where I was close to blacking out. Honestly, because I pictured this moment for 7-8+ years, and then I'm asking this dude all the questions, and he's this close to my face, and there was a moment where I was like, it was like Charlie Brown, like, womp, womp, womp. I was just like, is this happening? You know, so it's just, but again, you got to separate that. But I will say it's probably easier on Zoom. If I was in the room with Ace like we are now, it might be a little more overwhelming because that's Ace.
Yeah, exactly.
Most definitely. Yeah, that's how Howard Stern did it, though. It was like over the phone. So now this is like the next level of, you know.
Exactly.
Like this is the new media.
Exactly. And I love Howard Stern, and I listen to Howard literally every morning when I wake up, and every night when I go to bed, I play old Stern clips.
Man, he has the best voice ever.
He really
He's
does.
amazing, you know? And I love his style. I love parts of his interview style, and I want to take some of the old school, but I want to present it in the new way, because people, I think, are just sick and tired. I mean, they're barely even handing out newspapers in a lot of cities, you know, in America and stuff. It's like people are tired of the old way. So it's time to get it popping with the video and stuff. And if I can get a rock star to do it, none of these, you know, new school artists, they should have a hard time saying no if I can get someone from that generation to do it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point. Yeah, everything's video now. It's all video. It's all clips. It's
video,
the way the world's going.
The shorter the better too when it comes to the clips. Like you can do your hour or even 3-hour podcast if you're a big status or whatever. But yeah, for those clips, and that's something I've learned too. It's like you can't be resistant to the new apps. You can't be resistant to the new delivery methods, because you're gonna be left behind.